2 weeks of testimony and political theater in Austin came to a close over the weekend, ending only the third impeachment trial Texas had seen in 100 years. 16 articles of impeachment, including accusations of bribery and corruption, threatened to end Paxton's political future. But every Republican senator except for 2 disagreed, and they voted to acquit. This morning, a new layer to Ken Paxton's acquittal. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is revealing what happened behind the scenes to us. Patrick gave his first in-depth interview to WFAA senior political reporter Jason Whiteley, and Jason is joining us this morning to talk about some new revelations that Patrick shared, because we got a little hint of it at the end of the trial when he went off.
He did go off at the end of the trial. We talked about that in this half-hour interview we had, but there were also a number of things that we have not heard before. For example, why didn't the alleged mistress testify in the 2-week trial? Patrick told us that both sides decided, since Laura Olson would plead the fifth, that it wasn't worth the time. Patrick also told us in this interview that he spoke to the governor just a few hours after the verdict, and Abbott suggested that he agreed with the decision. Lieutenant Governor also defended that $3 million donation he got just before the trial from a pro-Paxton group. Patrick said he received just as much money from groups and conservatives that wanted Paxton removed from office. But the answer here to this next question was one of the most interesting, I think. I'm curious if you heard anything during that 2 weeks, Governor, that you think Ken Paxton's behavior might have crossed a line.
That's a great question that would be unfair for anyone to really answer. A person was impeached, just no different than a criminal trial.
But did Paxton do anything that you heard that you thought for an attorney general might have been too much?
Obviously, there were things that came up in the trial that I think most people, including myself, would look at and say, you know, wasn't very smart. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we can read between the lines there.
I think you can. And you know, one of the other interesting things that Patrick wants to do long term on this is change the state constitution to make the impeachment process in Texas a lot more like the federal one, where the House of Representatives has to take sworn testimony, not just information coming from different areas. And the other thing that they really want to do here in Texas, that Patrick and others want to do, is to let the accused stay in office through the trial. Bill Clinton didn't leave office. Donald Trump didn't leave office during their impeachment trials. So that's, you know, 2 things they want to try to do in the interim until 2025, when the next session happens.
That was one of the things that I know that Ken Paxton had talked to Tucker Carlson about, saying that, I mean, once this was decided, he was out. He didn't have a moment.
He didn't have a moment, and that's some of the reforms that they're talking about. The question is whether that can actually get past the House and the Senate. Who knows, after this, there might be a change of heart. Not sure yet.
Okay, well, listen, there's a lot more to that interview. I know that Jason has a lot more to say about it. You can listen to the full unedited interview right now in a special episode of Y'all-itics. You can point your phone at the QR code so you can go ahead and download it, or watch the episode on WFAA's YouTube page. Good to have you back, Jason.
Thanks, Kara.